So let's open Tally Prime, and after opening Tally Prime you have to open your bank ledger. So I'm going to tell you shortcut key for opening bank statement ledger. So from gateway of Tally, press DAL. It's a shortcut key opening list of ledger. Now you can see list of ledger has opened. You have to open your bank, so I'm going to open my SBI bank. And after opening bank you have to select your desired period by pressing Alt plus F2. So I have opened my bank 1st January to till. So let's suppose sometime what happened, your senior or your boss or your CA asks bank statement in Excel format. So how you have to export? Click on export option, then current option. Now you can see file format is showing in Excel spreadsheet. If this option is not showing in this, so you can configuration. So click on configuration option, and from here click on file format, and you can select any of format in which format you want to export your bank statement. So I have selected Excel spreadsheet. Click on send option. Now you can see your file is getting exporting in Excel format. It will take few of seconds. Now you can see your bank statement has been successfully exported in Excel format, and you can save this file and you can send to your CA, your boss or your senior, whoever asks this bank statement. And in this way in Tally Prime you can also export your bank statement in PDF format by selecting file format on Tally Prime. And from gateway of Tally, let me show you from where you will get your all sundry creditors list. So from gateway of Tally, press B. This is the shortcut key for opening balance sheet. After opening balance sheet, you have to click on current liabilities. Press enter on current liabilities, and then you will get sundry creditors. Click on sundry creditors. You will get all your sundry creditors list over here. Now you can see only two parties ledger is showing over here, because just we have created a new company and we have passed a few entries. That's why you will get to see only two entries over here. So you will get all your sundry creditors, your suppliers ledger over here. So you can see your outstanding balances over here. So if you want to export this sundry creditors list, so click on export option, then current option. Now you can see in file format there is already selected Excel spreadsheet. You have to click on send option if you want to export in Excel format. From here you can save this file and you can send to your CA or your boss or your senior, whoever are asking. So if you want to export in PDF format, so you can click on export and then current. And after pressing current, you have to click on configuration option and then file format option and select from your PDF format and click on send it. Now the same syndicator's file, syndicator's list has been opened in PDF format. As you can see, you can also save this PDF format file and you can share to your CA or your boss or your senior, whoever are asking. Thank you and keep watching my videos. In Tally Prime, first we need to analyze in balance sheet how much our input takes amount and how much our output takes amount. So from gateway of Tally, click on go to option and then open balance sheet. Click on current liabilities and click on duties and taxes. Now you can see your input and your output tax amount. Here you can see our input CGST around 32,000 and input SGST around 32,000. Total it's 65,752 and output CGST amount it's 49,000 and output SGST same amount. So total it's 99,000. It means in this case our output tax is more than input tax, so we will have to pay tax liability to the government. So after making journal entry, we will find our GST payable amount, and after passing journal entry, we will make the payment to the government. How much GST amount will be come out? So if you want to see, so you can see, click on go to and you can open GSTR 3B and you can see GSTR 3B reports. And after changing that, you can also analyze here output supplies amount and eligible ITC amount. You can also analyze before making this entry. So let's do our GST payable entry. So from gateway of tally, press P, and from the right hand side you have to select journal entry, because we are going to record this entry in journal voucher. By pressing F2 you have to select date in the month of, and 31st of May I have taken. And from here you have to select your output CGST. If is there output IGST you can also select, but we don't have output IGST, so we are going to select output CGST and output SGST, and you have to select the whole amount of output CGST and output SGST. Now we are going to adjust output CGST with input CGST. So here output CGST amount you can see 40,000 something, and we are going to adjust with input CGST. And if you forget how much amount of input CGST, so you can check out from here before going back. So click on go to and click on balance sheet and current liability, and now here you can check out input CGST amount. It's 32,876. Now here we will adjust 32,000 something amount, whatever amount is there, and after that we will adjust output SGST with input SGST. Amount will be same, 32,876.25 paise. Now you can see 33,247.50 paise. It's remaining extra amount. It is our GST payable amount. It is our tax amount which we will pay to the government. So from here, first we need to create a GST payable ledger. So by pressing Ctrl C, here I'm going to create GST payable ledger under group current liabilities, because GST payable is our current liability. So that's why we will create this ledger under current liability. So 33,347.50 paisa, it's a GST payable amount. So in this way you can adjust and you can pass adjustment entry in TallyPrime. Now is the time for making GST payment to the government. So how you have to pass GST payment entry? I will tell you. From gateway of Tally, press P, and from the right hand side select payment voucher by pressing F2. You can change date, and from the right hand side select autofill. In type of transaction select state payment, tax type GST, payment type regular, and period from when to when you are going to pay. So 1st May to 31st of May I have selected date. Now we will type it GST payable ledger over here. So I'm going to select GST payable, and after that select other options, because we are not going to pay interest, late fee, penalty. So we will select others option. So in amount you can see current liability 33,247.5 paise, and bank will be credit. So in this way you can pass GST payment entry. After making payment from your bank, you can pass and you can record this payment entry in your TallyPrime as I'm showing you over here. In narration you can mention GST payment for the month of which month you are going to pay, you can mention in narration. So in this way we have seen how we have to first adjust GST adjustment entry, and after that how we have to pass GST payment entry. Let's open balance sheet and let me show you what is the impact in balance sheet after passing this entry. So I'm going to open current liabilities and then duties and taxes. Now you can see here is not showing any input and any output amount, because we have already adjusted all those through journal entry, and after our GST payable, whatever our GST taxable amount we will pay to the government, so all will be settled. So in this way you can also settle if your output tax is more than. As you can see I have prepared cash voucher format to make you understand. So something like this cash voucher will look. So if you want to make food beverage cash voucher manually, so first of all you need to change date, and in head mention food and beverage. Let's suppose its amount is 250. In pay column you can mention, you can write being cash paid for food and beverage. For you can mention your employee name to whom you are going to pay 250 rupees, and in the bottom you can mention grand total as a 250 amount. So here I'm going to mention 250. You can see approved signature, prepared signature, and received signature. options are showing below. So who will prepare, they will sign on prepare option, and who will be approved, they will sign on approved, and who will be received, they will sign on received. So all this option is used for the same person. So we have prepared manually voucher for food and beverage. So let me tell you how to pass this entry in telegram. So get from gateway of tele, you have to press B, and from the right hand side select journal voucher by pressing F to select date. So let me tell you, first of all, the voucher date is 1st April. So we will change the date, and from here by pressing Ctrl C you have to create ledger. So we will create ledger food and beverage under group indirect expenses, GST applicable, so select not applicable, again not applicable. Amount would be 250 as mentioned in voucher. So we will debit food and beverage 250 rupees, and we are going to pay through cash, so cash will be credit. So in narration you can copy and paste your pay head being cash paid for food and beverage, and you can mention employee name. So in this way you can pass food and beverage manually, cash, and in teleprime. Let's make second voucher. So second voucher, if you want to make for your another expense, so first of all you need to change date. And let's suppose next we are going to make cash voucher for water expenses. Let's suppose your employees go outside for any of your company work, for your office work, and they spend 60 rupees for water expenses for drinking water. So in head you have to mention water expenses, and in pay column you can mention being cash paid for water expenses for, you can mention your employee name, and in amount column you can mention whatever expenses for water expenses. So I'm going to mention 60 rupees, and in grand total again 60 rupees. So our manually voucher is ready for water expenses. So let's pass this entry in teleprime. So again we have to select journal voucher, app to press and change your date, and we need to create water expenses ledger. So by pressing Ctrl C, I am going to create water expenses ledger under group indirect expenses, and GST applicable, select not applicable, again not applicable, and in amount 60 rupees debit for water expenses, and we are going to pay water expenses in cash, so cash will be credit. And in narration you can copy and paste your pay head being cash paid for water expenses, and you can mention your employee name. So second cash voucher is done. So let's go for third voucher. So first of all you need to change date, and let's suppose you are going to pay conveyance expenses for your employees. So in head mention conveyance expenses, and let's suppose its amount would be 110 rupees. So mention amount in amount column, and in pay column being cash paid for conveyance expenses, and don't forget to mention your employees and which place to which place they have expenses for conveyance expenses. So you have to mention all this thing in pay column. So I'm going to mention all this information in detail, and in grand total it would be 110 because total amount is 110. So our manual voucher is ready. So let's treat and let's record this in telegram. So by pressing Ctrl C, again we need to create a ledger for conveyance expenses under indirect expenses. GST will be not applicable, again not applicable, and amount would be 110 will be debit, and cash will be credit because we are going to pay in cash, that's why cash will be credit. And in narration you have to mark in detail to whom, to which employee you are going to pay conveyance expenses, which to which place, everything you have to mention in narration. So let's go to make another one more voucher. Let's suppose you have sent your any of your employee outside for company work, and he spent all day outside and he wandering one place to another place for company work. So they have spent conveyance expenses. So they will make voucher and give you. So how you have to make that voucher, I will tell you. So first of all, you have, let's suppose voucher was 1000 rupees. So again you have to select journal voucher, change date, and by pressing Ctrl C you can create ledger. If ledger is already created, so you can select 1000 will be debit and cash will be credit. So in this way you can make manually voucher, and after making manually voucher you can record. Hello friends, this is Suman Sharma. Welcome back to my channel Suman Education Hub English. In today's video, for maintaining electronic company accounting in Teleprime, how you have to analyze GSTR 1 reports, GSTR 2 reports, GSTR 3B reports, and after analyzing GSTR reports, and after that, I will tell you how to pass GST adjustment entry in Teleprime in Journal Voucher. So let's get started. Before starting video, it's my personal request to all of you. Please support me by like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So let's start the video from Gateway of Tele. Click on Go To option, and from here you have to open GSTR2 reports. Click Alt plus F2 and change your date. And now you can see all the purchase invoices will be show here, B2B invoices. You have to analyze GSTR2 reports like this. Now click on Go To option and open from here GSTR1 reports. In GSTR1 reports, we get all our sales over here. By pressing L plus F2 you have to change your dates. Now you can see B2B invoices, there is showing one invoices which we have entered. So in this way you can analyze GSTR1 reports. All sales reports will be shown here. Next report we will see GSTR 3B reports. Click on Go To option and open GSTR 3B reports from here. And again you have to click Alt plus F2 for changing date. Now you can see here GSTR 3B reports, outward supply is showing here and tax amount, and you can see eligible ITC over here. Now here I will tell you how to take out tax amount which you have to pay to the government. So in Teleprime I have opened calculator. By pressing Ctrl plus N you can open calculator, and here you can calculate. You have to minus outward tax amount into eligible ITC to know your tax amount. Now click on Go To option and we will open balance sheet and click on current liabilities. Click on duties and taxes. You can see here, press enter. In duties and taxes you can see here how much input tax here and how much output tax is here. How you have to take out tax amount? You have to adjust output into input, means you have to minus output tax into input. Your tax liability will be come out. So again I will open calculator in Teleprime, and now you can see the tax liability is 600 something. Just we had analyzed GSTR 3B reports and same tax amount was showing there, means our tax liability is correct. And now what we have to do? For maintaining account properly, we have to pass GST adjustment entry in journal vouchers. From Gateway of Delhi, you have to press V and select journal voucher and select date of end of the month. And from here, we will pass GST adjustment entry. So what we have to do? You have to debitate your all output taxes like output RGST, output CGST, output SGST. Here we have only output RGST, so I'm going to debit output RGST amount. And after that we have to adjust all our input taxes like input SGST. First we have to adjust, and after that input CGST, input SGST. Before passing this adjustment entry, you have to note your input IGST, input CGST and input SGST amount anywhere. Otherwise, you can take a screenshot of your duties and taxes screen, so that you will make sure that how much your input SGST, input IGST and input CGST amount, because we have to put here manually. So that's why we will need that amount. So before passing this entry, you note down or take screenshot of that duties and excess screen. Now here you have to adjust, you have to credit your input IGST if you have, otherwise you can adjust input CGST and input SGST. So we have input CGST and input SGST. After adjusting output tax into input tax, there is some amount remain which is our tax liability come out. So for booking this, we need to create a ledger. So by pressing Alt plus C, we have to create a ledger GST payable under current liabilities, because GST payable, GST which we are going to pay to the government, that is our GST payable amount. So GST payable amount is 600 something. Now I will show you how this entry has impacted to the balance sheet. So open the balance sheet, current liability. Now you can see duties and taxes, there is no amount shows. because we have passed that adjustment entry. That's why duties and taxes amount has been nil. Now you can see GST payable amount is showing 600 something, which is our tax amount. So let's pass GST payment entry. From gateway of Tally, you have to press B, select payment voucher, change date, in which date you are going to pay your GST payment. So by selecting date, you have to select over here GST payable amount ledger, which we have created in current liability. Now debit GST payable amount 600 something and credit your bank. So you have to select your bank, which bank you are going to pay GST amount. If your bank ledger has not created, you can create here. Press Alt plus C and you can create your bank account ledger likewise I am creating. Under you have to select bank account and fill all the information related to the bank. Check number and you have to mark your narration. So again I will show you what is the impact of this entry in balance sheet. Click on go to and open balance sheet and click on current liabilities. Click on duties and taxes. Now you can see there is no amount showing in duties and taxes, and GST payable ledger is not showing here because we have paid that GST amount to the government. So in this way, in this video we have seen how to analyze GSTR1 reports, GSTR2 reports, GSTR3B reports, balance sheet, Tally Prime, and from gateway of Tally press V, and we have to select journal voucher from the right hand side, and by pressing F2 you have to change your voucher date. So I'm going to change here 1st April 22 date. So here we are going to pass and we are going to record prepaid rent expenses in single voucher. First, we will have to bifurcate the total rent paid amount. It was 1.5 lakh, and as because we are going to record in single entry, so in rent expenses we have to pay only for 12 months. 1.2 lakh we will debit in rent expenses ledger, and again we have to debit prepaid rent expenses. So we have paid prepaid rent expenses for 3 months. It was 30,000, so 30,000 will be debit, and cash will be credit with rupees 1.5 lakh. So this is a single entry, and this is how you have to pass if you want to pass prepaid rent expenses entry in single vouchers. Likewise, you can also record this entry in single voucher. As you can see, in rent expenses there is 1.2 lakh rupees debit, and prepaid expenses 30 lakh rupees debit, and cash will be credit with 1.5 lakh. So let's go to balance sheet and let's see how this entry will impact on balance sheet. So I'm going to open current assets, and in current assets we have to open prepaid rent expenses, and in April month you can see 30,000 amount is showing in debit side, so which we have already passed, so that's why this entry is showing in April month. And let's open profit and loss account in direct expenses, and now here you can see rent expenses ledger and open in April month ledger. So you can see here's entry showing 1.2 lakh. It means this is a 12-month rent expenses we have booked in our Tally Prime. So this is how, if you want to pass prepaid rent expenses entry in single voucher, so you can pass like this as I show you in this video. Thank you and keep watching my videos.